talking after the meal and the hospitality, and they say to Abraham, this time next year, Sarah's going to have a baby. Sarah's listening in the back, and she thinks that's pretty funny. Yeah, sure. She's not having her monthly time anymore. Wait a minute, this is ridiculous. And then this guy who, I don't know, some people think it's an Old Testament appearance of Jesus. We don't know. But he says, Sarah, what are you laughing about? Ooh, I'm not laughing. Yes, you are. And in God's normal way, she gets pregnant. And she finally has a baby. His name is Isaac. So we have an answer. We have Isaac. That's great. Abraham, I'm going to make of you a great nation. He has one kid of promise. He has other children, but he one child with promise. This is not multiplication. This is addition. Where we really need to move fast. And then, of course, you know the story. Abraham, take your son, and it's underlined, your only son, the only son of the promise. Take your son, your only son, and sacrifice him. And Abraham obeys God, and it was counted to him as righteousness because he obeyed God. And the interesting thing is, we have a brief glimpse into Abraham's hopes. Abraham figured, since God had promised through Isaac that if necessary, he would raise Isaac from the dead. That would be easier than him having another kid, because he was, quote unquote, as good as dead as far as producing children. So Isaac lives. And we're going to make of you a great nation. And Isaac has two sons. Ah, great, terrific. He has two sons at last, multiplication. 2, 4, 8, 16. We're about to move. And God says, only one of them is a son of the promise. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, I'm going to make of you a great nation. What's the first thing you need for a nation? They got one son of the promise. Abraham's dead. Isaac's on his last legs and he's dying. There's Jacob. Not only that, Jacob's a rascal. He's a manipulator. He cheats his brother out of the inheritance of the promise. Esau was a redneck. He rode around in a pickup truck with an "Eat More Possum" sign, and he got tricked by this crafty Jacob, and he has to run for his life. He goes to his uncle, and his uncle are two of a kind. And they get into a which one can cheat the other contest. It starts when Jake falls in love with Rachel, the younger daughter. And you know the story there. Uncle Layman, I really ought to think about getting married. And I don't know. There are no girls that particularly attract me. But what about that second daughter of yours? What's her name? Oh, yeah, Rachel. She would do. Boy, yeah, that's good. I think that would be a very good match for you. And I'll give you a deal. I'll give you a really good deal. You work for me free for 7 years, and you can have Rachel. 7 years, but 7 years. And Jacob was a very good businessman, so it was money in his father-in-law's pocket. And so he marries her, normal Eastern way, with the girl very modest in her face covered, of course. And then he finds out that night that he didn't marry Rachel. He married Leah, the girl with the bad eyes. The one that they had trouble getting married. And he's in outrage. He goes, he says to Layman, what is that, And what can a father do? You can't marry the younger God, never get rid of the older one. How come the younger girl get married first, But I'll tell you what, I'll give you a deal. Work another 7 years and you can have, but look, I'm not going to make you wait 7 more years. You can have her on the installment plan. You can have her now and pay later. And so, God works in mysterious ways, His wonders to perform. We would like to think that everything that God does is all very carefully managed and systematized and so on. But He's working with sinful people. And so ministry tends often to be kind of rough at times. Where there's no cattle in the stall, you never have to clean it out. But where there's cattle in the stall, you're going to get cattle poop. And where you get human beings, you're going to get these circumstances. It's who we are. Life is messy because we are messed up. We are fallen people, redeemed through the blood of the Lamb. We're still messed up people. So here's a messed up family, and all of a sudden a baby making contest breaks out. A baby making contest between Rachel and Leah. And Leah hits pay dirt first. She has a baby. See, a son. She names each of these babies of hers a name that is an insulting thing or to show her triumph. She has a second one. I'm vindicated. And poor Rachel is barren. She's going nowhere. Well, I'm not going into all the details of the story. But Rachel decides to bring her handmaiden in because this time Leah's got all these kids and she's got zilch. So she sends her handmaiden, her maid in, who gets pregnant. And each of the children are named by the two ladies, even if it's the child of the maid, because Leah's going to send her handmaid in too. And we got 4 kids coming from that. And then Leah has a couple more. And kind of each name is in your face. Take that. And poor Leah, she names one of her kids Honor. She says, I've given him 6 sons. Perhaps he will honor me now. Earlier, she'd named one of the children such that my husband doesn't love me. So there's this, can you imagine what this household is like? The mess of this household. With this baby-making contest and these 2 sisters who hate each other. And with all these kids. And finally, Rachel gets pregnant. By this time, there's kids, boys, all over the place. She gets pregnant and has a son. And she names him Joseph, which means, may he add. I want more! Our first child. There's already 10 sons in the family. And she gets pregnant again. And it's a terrible pregnancy. And she's in horrible pain. She survives birth, names the child son of my pain, gets renamed by his father.